Well, what's going on, guys? TTL here. Today I'm going to be going over my top 5 MLB plays for July 22nd, 2023. We have quite a few hours until these get started, so let's just get into it. I apologize for not uploading for the past 4 or 5 days. I've just been super busy. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. Real quick before we get into the picks, if you're interested, you can get VIP access for $20 a month. You get complete PrizePicks, underdog, and sleeper slips for just about every sport, as well as sportsbook bets every single day for esports and sports. We do VIP only live streams, watch parties. We have a VIP only chat, VIP only giveaways. Definitely recommend joining. And if you're interested in trying us out for 2 weeks for free, you can sign up to PrizePicks, underdog, or sleeper using code TTL. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 completely free, and you'll get 2 weeks free of VIP. Just open up a ticket in the Discord and I'll get you sorted out. Other than that, let's just get into the picks. Again, I apologize for not having an upload for the past few days, but life's just been busy. We should be back to almost everyday uploads, at least 3 or 4 a week now. So hopefully we can start uploading again. And I'm also going to be giving away some underdog picks today as well. But let's get into it. One of my top plays of the day is Logan Webb over 4.5 strikeouts versus Washington. So we can take a look. Logan Webb's going over this in 5 straight games now. And I know Washington are really good at not striking out. They're second in the league. They got bumped down from first. They used to be first, but they're averaging just around 7 strikeouts per game, just over 7. They're averaging just around 6.5, 7 strikeouts per game over their last 3. And Logan Webb, he usually does really well against Washington. We can take a look at our partners, Outlier.bet. It's kind of like props.cash on steroids. If you're interested in this, feel free to go check it out using the link in the comments. But we can take a look over his last 10. He's went over 5 strikeouts in 9 out of his last 10 games. He's been killing it. And when we take a look at, one moment. When we take a look over here at versus Logan Webb, we can see a lot of these batters either have like no matchups versus Webb, or they do worse. So we can see Abrams, Thomas, Adams, they have really terrible strikeout rates. Call has a terrible strikeout rate compared to the regular 2023. And then there's some that have just no data, like Vargas or Chavez. But definitely like this matchup for Webb. We can see he's averaging just over 9 strikeouts per 9, so around a strikeout per inning. So on average, as long as he can go 5 or 6 innings in this matchup, he should get 9 strikeouts. Definitely like this play though. It's one of my top plays of the day, and I'm just locking it in. You can feel free to put it in any 2 picks, 3 picks, 4 picks, however you want to play it. Feel free to lock it in. I also really like Tanner Bibby over 5.5 strikeouts versus the Phillies. The Phillies strike out a lot. They're ranked 24th out of 30th, averaging over 9 strikeouts per game. His line's 5.5. He's went over this in 4 out of his last 5 matchups. And he's also went over this in 6 of his last 10. And in 2023, he's hitting 8 of 14 he's went over, which is a 57% rate, which isn't that great. But a lot of these losses that he hasn't gone over 5.5 are versus really good teams. Yankees, he got 5. Detroit, there's no excuse. But then the Mets, Boston, Padres, pretty much the only bad teams that he stayed under versus are Detroit and Kansas City. So I do like this matchup. We can see the Phillies have no data for versus Tanner Bibby, but versus right-handed pitchers, a lot of them do terribly. So I'm willing to put my money on this bet. I absolutely love it. I'm locking this in as well. And again, you can put this in any 2 picks, 3 picks, or 4 picks you would like. Next, I like Zach Wheeler. He's on the opposing team versus the Guardians. Now the Guardians are ranked 1 for least amount of strikeouts per game, averaging just over 7 strikeouts per game. But Zach Wheeler has been killing it. And when we take a look at over 4.5, it's minus 180 odds for him to get at least 5 strikeouts. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10, and he's hit this in 84% of his games this year. He's hit it in 16 games out of 19 played, with the 3 losses being versus Washington, Arizona, and Oakland. Versus Wheeler, there's really no data for most of the batters on Cleveland. Versus right-handed pitchers, a lot of them do worse than normal. So hopefully we can see him have a good outing tonight. We can see he averages 10.1 strikeouts per 9. So if he goes 5-6 innings, he should easily go over this 5 strikeout line. Absolutely loving it, and I'm locking it in as well. Next, we have Kevin Gausman over 7 strikeouts. This is 7.5 on sportsbooks. He's versus the Mariners. This will most likely be bumped. He's pushed in the last 2 games. He went over the game before and then under the 2 games before that, which kind of sucks. But we can take a look, and Seattle are 29th of 30th, averaging almost double-digit strikeouts per game on the season. And when we take a look at Gausman, we can see the over 6.5 is almost minus 200 odds. And we can see that he's went over this in 3 of his last 5. Or pushed or went over, my bad. 6 of his last 10. And in 68% of the games he's played this year, which is 13 games out of 19 played. And we can see that he averages 11.9 strikeouts per 9 innings, which goes all the way up to 16.7 versus the Mariners. So he almost double, like he almost 1.5x's his average strikeouts per game per 9 versus the Mariners. Versus Kevin Gausman, the Mariners actually do even worse than normal for most of their batters as well. So this is just a great spot for him to get tons of strikeouts. This should be really easy for him, and I am loving this today. Next, for our final pick for Prize Picks, we have Grayson Rodriguez at 6 strikeouts under. So this is actually an under that I'm taking. He's versus Tampa Bay, who have just been hitting like crazy this year. They're middle of the pack for strikeouts, 15th of 30th, averaging 8.5 strikeouts per game. Grayson Rodriguez has stayed under or pushed 6 strikeouts in all 5 of his last games. And when we take a look at Outlier, we can see we can't see under 6.5. We can only look at under 5.5, right? But this year, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 11 games, he has his max went 6 strikeouts. He's went 6 strikeouts or under. Over his last 5, again, he stayed at 6 or under in all 5. And over his last 10, he's went 80% of them. 8 out of 10 are 6 or under. And versus Detroit and the White Sox, those are the only 2 games all year that he's went over 6 strikeouts. Today versus Tampa Bay, his average strikeouts per 9 is 10.7. It goes all the way down to 6.3 versus Tampa Bay. So absolutely love this. We can also take a look at Tampa Bay versus Grayson Rodriguez over here, and we can see that a lot of them, I mean, I will say there's not many at-bats to look at here, but they just have no strikeouts versus him. So definitely love this matchup for the Rays versus the Grayson Rodriguez. So definitely taking this under here. So feel free to mix and match these however you would like. Again, we have Logan Webb over 4.5 strikeouts, Tanner Bibby over 5.5, Zach Wheeler over 5, Kevin Gausman over 7, and then Grayson Rodriguez over 6. Now, I will say the pitcher strikeout combos, if you're going to take both Bibby and Wheeler, it makes more sense to take this combo of 10.5. So feel free to do that as well for a 2-pick. And thank you guys for watching. And I will give you guys one quick underdog pick really quickly. I like Garrett Cole under 2 earned runs allowed. I like Grayson Rodriguez over 2.5 earned runs allowed. And then I like Logan Webb under 2.5 earned runs allowed. Now you could do Rodriguez under strikeouts as well. I like that just the same amount. But since we already had that on PrizePicks and I already have some money on that, I decided to take the earned runs allowed route. But I do love all three of these options on Underdog. Feel free to mix and match these as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you guys next video.